Hey, what's up you guys, it's Connor, and today I'm going to be continuing my 2016 reading wrap-up with books 16 through 20. So the 16th book I read this year is going to be Stardust by Neil Gaiman. I loved this book. I ended up giving it 5 stars out of 5 stars. This is probably my first novel that I've given 5 stars to possibly this year, so that's saying something. If you guys don't know, Stardust is about a boy named Tristan, and he's from a town and it's right next to the Wall, and the Wall is kind of this like portal into this other world, and every 9 years there's a carnival that happens just across the Wall and everyone kind of mingles and everything like that. But any other time the Wall is guarded and people don't go back and forth across the Wall. It just doesn't happen. Tristan, who isn't totally enamored by this girl, he really wants to marry her, and she agrees that she will give him whatever he wants if he will find the shooting star that falls and bring it back to her. So he goes across the Wall and gets in so much trouble. It is so much fun. In this edition that I have, there's a foreword from Neil Gaiman saying that this book is meant to be a fairy tale for adults written in the 1920s, and this book is exactly that. It has that older classic feel, but it is a more mature fairy tale. Like, that's exactly what it is a 1920s fairy tale for adults. It is definitely adult. There are some sexy times in this book, so I definitely don't recommend it for younger readers. If you want to experience this story, they made a movie out of it, which I really love the movie, so that one little kids can watch. But this book is definitely for adults. I thought everything in the book was just well done and well woven together. The adventure, the magic, the romance, the entire plot, it just totally worked for me. Like, every single facet of this book just hit a home run for me. I thought the magic was really cool. The witches in this world have to somehow continue to get youth from people, and that's how they stay alive for so long, and then whenever they cast a spell, it makes them older. And the romance between Tristan and the main love interest is just such a slow going thing throughout the entire novel. It's definitely not love at first sight. Not at all. So it was really fun to see that develop over time, and I just thought that this world was really interesting and how nothing actually stays in the same spot. Things move around in the world, and so maps are ineffective. You just have to try to find the thing that you're trying to find by just walking around. It was just overall a very fun romp through this whole magical world, and I definitely recommend it. It's probably my favorite, if not my second favorite Neil Gaiman book that I have ever read. So I am super recommending this one. I loved it a lot. The next book that I read is the second book in the Guardian series by William Joyce, and that is Eat Aster Bunny and the Warrior Eggs at the Center of the Earth. That's a long title. This one continues a couple months or something like that after the ending of the first book, which is called Nicholas St. North and the Battle of the Nightmare King or something like that. I didn't like this book as much as I liked the first one. I ended up giving this one 3 stars out of 5 stars, where I gave the first one 4 stars out of 5 stars. This is a children's book. It is not really even a middle grade book, and if it is, it's on the very lower end of middle grade, 9 and 10-year-olds possibly. It mainly follows Nicholas St. North, this girl named Catherine, and Ombrick, who is a wizard, and they have to battle a guy named Pitch, who is kind of the boogeyman, to save the children of the world over and over again. This one started off a lot more slow than the first one started out for me, and I also didn't really like the character that was introduced, E. Aster Bunnymund. I just, I didn't really care for him very much. I thought that he had a very not likable personality, if that makes sense. Like, I really didn't care about him, and I didn't actually think that he was a good addition to the story. I mean, I'm sorry. The characters don't focus on the main problem for such a long time. It is so frustrating a little bit. But it's made for children. It's made as a book that parents would read to their children, and I think as that, it is very good. It has a lot of themes like keeping your imagination alive, being inventive, and keeping that wonder that children have about the world, about how every small little thing can bring someone fascination and be super interesting if you look at it in the right way. And it also teaches children that anything is possible, and I think that's really important to teach young children that they can follow their dreams and can follow their passions and stuff like that. It is very good in that respect. The book is also illustrated, so it'll have just random illustrations throughout the book if you want to see. They're kind of drawn like that, and then they have ones like this. So I really do enjoy them, but I ended up giving this one 3 out of 5 stars because I just didn't like it as much as the first one. The 18th thing that I read was Saga Volume 5 by Brian K. Vaughan and illustrated by Fiona Staples. This follows a couple where their planets are in war against each other, but they end up falling in love and having a child, and then everyone is trying to hunt them down and kill the child, and they're trying to survive. They get in tons of danger from different situations, and I really enjoyed this one. I think I liked the 4th volume a little bit more, and so I ended up giving this one 5 stars because I felt like this one was just kind of like, here's a character, they're dead. Here's a character, they're dead. So I thought that this one could have been a little bit better in terms of the messages that it was trying to come across, but I just ended up focusing on all the murders and all of the people dying. So I did really like it, and I'll definitely be continuing along. I just ended up giving this one 4 stars instead of 5 stars, but I still really enjoyed this comic book series. Next book that I read was The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. This is a vastly popular book. It is a YA contemporary book that deals with a child who is suffering from depression or something like that. Basically, the story is told in letter format from a boy named Charlie, and he is writing to his friend, and he is telling them things about his life, and that's how you kind of find out about the story. And each one is dated, and so it goes from the earliest letter to the latest letter, the most recent letter. And it's just kind of him going into high school. He doesn't have any friends. His best friend has passed away right before they started high school, and so he is just kind of dealing with a whole lot of terrible things that has happened to him recently, and he doesn't have any friends, so he's trying to participate. That was kind of one of the main things, was that he needed to participate in life and kind of break out of his shell and kind of find himself as he is going through high school. I ended up really liking this book. I think that the narration was a little bit too juvenile sounding to be a 15-year-old. Charlie's supposed to be 15, if I didn't say that before, and he sounded like he was like 10 or 11. Like, the way that it is written is in very simple sentences, ones that a 10 or 11-year-old would write, but I think that a 15-year-old would be a little bit more eloquent than that. And I think that he was also extremely naive, to the point that it was a little bit ridiculous. Like, I know that it's done on purpose, that he is supposed to not really be accepting these things. He's like an unreliable narrator because he's filtering the things that he's saying, and he's not telling the story exactly how it's happening. But I thought that the fact that he didn't know about certain things, I was just kind of like, really, dude? Like, you definitely know what that is. You might be blocking out that this certain event happened, but you definitely know what this certain thing is. So I did really enjoy it. I think that so many people would get so many good values and good messages out of this story, and I think that it's really important that people read this book. But I ended up giving it 4 stars just because I thought that the first half was like pretty boring, and it was just kind of like meh, and then at the halfway point is when I started really caring about Charlie and really caring about his life and really rooting for him a lot. I was just kind of like, yay, hurrah, whatever for him in the first half, and then the second half was like, dang, let's go, Charlie. I hope you have an amazing life. So 4 stars out of 5 stars, definitely recommend this one as well. The 20th thing that I've read this year is going to be Fairy Tail Volume 9. I love Fairy Tail. I love getting character backstories, and this is the one where we get a little bit more about Lucy, who's the main character really of the entire series, and then we also get some background, like a lot of background from the secondary character named Loki, because he's kind of been in the background so far, but he really comes out in this one, and it has a lot of information about his past life, and I just really enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 5 stars. You guys know what Fairy Tail is about. If you don't know, watch it on Netflix, and if you don't have Netflix or it doesn't show up in your country, it's on YouTube for free. So yeah, just type in Fairy Tail Season 1 Episode 1 and it'll pop up. I love Fairy Tail. So those are the next 5 things that I read in 2016. Let me know down in the comments what you've been reading recently. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.